So, what comes to mind when you think of West Virginia? Something like this? That's pretty accurate. But West Virginia is a pretty large state, and there's different types of lifestyles depending on the location. What many people think of as the real West Virginia is more obvious in the center, southern, and western part of the state. Then you've got two quirky map features, the northern panhandle and the eastern panhandle. The northern panhandle is along a thin finger pointing up and close to Pittsburgh, and in lots of ways feels like the industrial southern area of Pittsburgh. The eastern panhandle sticks out and dips down on the east side of the state and feels, according to some, like a rural extension of the AC metro area.
You don't really get the real West Virginia until you get up into the Appalachian Plateau or the farm areas in the central, southern, or western areas of the state. The rest of West Virginia sees the eastern panhandle as a hybrid West Virginia. You got some DC mixed in there.
So this video is going to point out the differences and similarities between the eastern panhandle and the rest of the state. And by the way, remember our contact information is below, and if you want to learn about the eastern panhandle, consider subscribing. So first thing, population growth. This is a census data map showing population movement within the state. The gold and yellow colors indicate decline. The green and dark green indicate growth. So it's clear that the two counties in the eastern panhandle, Berkeley and Jefferson County, are at the high end of the growth number. Morgan's pretty much neutral, and except for Monongalia County, which is where the University of West Virginia is located, the rest of West Virginia is showing declining numbers. Our neighboring state, Maryland, is also showing declining numbers. And where are they moving? Lots of them to the eastern panhandle. Our property taxes are a lot slower, and it's just an easier lifestyle because, after all, we are in West Virginia. As you move west in the state, it starts getting lots less densely populated. Even in Berkeley County, you can start to see that change as you head west from 81. Next thing, the economy. How does the economic landscape in the eastern panhandle compare with the rest of the state, and what does this mean for the people living there? In the heart of West Virginia, industries such as coal mining, manufacturing have long been economic staples. However, these sectors have faced challenges, and that impacts job security, community livelihoods. The Eastern Panhandle, given its proximity to these larger metro areas, offers more opportunities for higher paying jobs. Just given its location, it's about 30 minutes to an hour from high-tech industries, and that's attracting people. And with that comes money for improved healthcare, roads, new businesses. Of course, growth brings its own set of challenges like higher living costs. The median cost of a home in West Virginia as a whole is under $200,000. In the Eastern Panhandle, it's close to $300,000. And that's still lots cheaper than what you can get in Maryland and Virginia. It's lots less than in Washington, D.C. So we're close to that area, but we're less expensive, and that makes the Eastern Panhandle a very desirable place to live. Next thing, culture. West Virginia has a deep-rooted cultural heritage. It's largely influenced by Appalachian customs. This includes a strong tradition of music, particularly bluegrass and folk, storytelling, crafts. Local festivals and events celebrating this heritage are common and are a point of pride for the state. With all the growth going on in the Eastern Panhandle, there are concerns about maintaining that rich history and culture. Like I mentioned earlier, the Eastern Panhandle is considered by some as a hybrid, more newfangled influences blended with traditional Appalachian culture. However, even in this changing landscape, the Eastern Panhandle is still West Virginia, with the core values and traditions that define the state. and everybody wants to hang on to that. It's a challenge, but the historic areas in our town are overseen to maintain that history. And this is particularly evident in Shepherdstown, Harpers Ferry. Martinsburg is in regeneration mode with old factories and historic buildings being renovated. For example, that huge interwoven mill and garment factory is undergoing renovation. This is a huge old complex of buildings downtown from the early 1900s. At one time, it was a major employer for the area. And I'm so glad that these buildings are being renovated instead of torn down, because in some places, old buildings are torn down. So if you are planning on moving to the Eastern Panhandle, you can expect a growing population, increasing home values, new restaurants, and more shopping options. And you are close to the big city and all those opportunities. Plus, you've got the ambiance that these historic areas provide. And you've still got a West Virginia vibe around here. Speaking of vibes, the video on the right breaks down the various parts of the Eastern Panhandle. And check that out. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.